Okay, people, I'm going to run down all the Marvel Legends that were debuted at San Diego Comic-Con 2016. This is kind of a news update, but kind of me just rambling on about all these cool toys that they showed. I wasn't planning on doing this until later. I wanted to get some reviews of some of the toys that I got at Comic-Con, but my camera took a dirt nap on the way back from the convention. So I'm going to attempt to shoot the Figure Arts Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo later today with my cell phone. I don't know how well that will come out, but I'm really wanting to get that review up because, oh man, such a cool figure. So in the meantime, I'm going to talk about Marvel Legends. Now, first day of the con, we get there and they're showing some of the Doctor Strange Legends. These are cool. It's stuff we had already seen. Iron Fist, I like. I kind of feel like he should be on slightly bigger body, but this will work, and I love the wrapped arms. And then there's Nico. Apparently they showed the power arm at Toy Fair. I suffer from amnesia because it's like seeing it for the first time again. But I dig this figure. I like it. I'm hoping for more Runaways. And then Dormammu. Again, seen him before. He looks cool. In the promo picture here, the skulls in his hand look kind of weird, but in person they look absolutely fantastic. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the lighting or if it was just the plastic used, if it has a different effect in person, but they look gummy, they look delicious, they look great. And Brother Voodoo with a couple of changes from the convention set from last year. I missed that set, much like I missed some Hasbro stuff this year. So I'm happy to be getting this figure finally. I would prefer the classic look, but this will work. This will be a Voodoo on my shelf. And then the Doctor Strange. It's okay. It feels like we just got this, but I love the cape so much that I'll end up buying it again. A lot of people say it's hard to beat the original Toy Biz Strange, and I kind of agree with that, so I'm buying this figure just for the cape, apparently. And then Thursday morning, I was able to attend the Hasbro breakfast where they showed off some new stuff, the movie Doctor Strange and the movie Mordo. Now, we were told these two are based on their original concept art for the movie, which ended up being pretty close to the final look. There was some changes made, and you can see slight differences, but for the most part, these work for movie figures. Also shown at the breakfast was some of the figures from the next Spider-Man wave. I like these. These are kind of cool. Now, of course, we kind of figured we'd be getting a symbiote Spider-Man. And here it is, black and white. It looks okay. The eyes are kind of big, but this totally works for me. Kamala Khan, I like. I'm not too familiar with the character. I haven't read comics in a while. She looks good, though. She will come with a right big slapping hand, and she will come with a regular left hand. So interchangeable there. Gives me hope for a Mr. Fantastic. The Jackal, all new body with some fur sculpt on it. A lot of people's been saying that they want this used for Beast. I think it's too small unless you're just going full on original gray version of Beast. But I can see this for Werewolf by Night or some other skinnier furry character. Green Goblin, I thought he would be big because I don't have Hobgoblin yet. So I thought this is a little bulky for Green Goblin, but after getting the Raft set and getting Dread Knight, it's a little bit skinnier than I thought. The scale mail body. So I'm good with this. I like the original Toy Biz. This is just another Goblin. There's been many versions, so we can mix and match how we want to. The Spider-Man 2099, again, not familiar with this costume. Since we already have a figure of the quote-unquote classic Spider-Man 2099, I'm good with getting another rendition of him. And I kind of like the red, white, and black. It's kind of striking. It's like the Miles costume. I'm not familiar with it, but I like the design. Now, this is an all-new body that they'll be using off and on in future waves. It's a little bit smaller than Bucky Cap, but it's ripped, so it's just another option there. And the same can be said for Spider-Man UK or Spider UK or whatever this is called. Again, not familiar with Spider-Verse. I like Captain Britain though, and I like Spider-Man, so a mix of them kind of interests me. He's on a new body too. It's a little bit larger than Bucky Cap, but again, a little buffer. Again, more options. Come in the next day, and there's more new Marvel Legends in the Hasbro booth. They displayed the Netflix Jessica Jones and Punisher. Huge fan of the Netflix series Daredevil. Jessica Jones. I can't wait for Iron Fist and Luke Cage. And these look really great. The sculpts are awesome. Looks just like Jessica, looks just like Frank. This gives us another couple bodies because the pants and boots on Punisher are awesome. And then a female jean sculpt with jacket. And then before the panel, they did display a couple of Guardians of the Galaxy figures and one X-Men figure. At the time, we didn't know how it was split up, but they showed Marvel Legends Angela. I'm okay with this. I don't really care for the whole, we got this figure from another creator, blah blah blah, brought it shoehorned into this universe. But I'm down for good figures. And she is a new body. She's kind of in between the female body and then the She-Hulk or Red She-Hulk body. So mid-size there, it'll give us more options for Asgardians, hopefully in the future. They showed the Sam Nova. I actually did read the first arc of this comic book. I believe Richard came back later, so it's not like he took the place of anybody. He's just a Nova to stay around on Earth. And plus it gets some more reuse out of that Peter Parker Miles body that we just got. And then they showed Dazzler. I know a lot of people wanted the blue costume, but Disco Dazzler, she can be used as classic, she can be used as modern, she can be used on the Deadpool shelf, which really makes me happy. And don't get me wrong, I want Outback too. I want the blue costume with the yellow star, just one of my favorite versions of the X-Men. But getting Disco Dazzler out of the way first gets new sculpting out of the way first. You got her fair hair, you have the roller skates, you have the bell bottoms. It just feels like here's the one that's more difficult to make. We can do the other one at any point in the future. Or fairly easy custom to make. Yeah, you have to find a head, but this is the more difficult one. I'm happy that we get her first. And then during the panel, they got all fancy and showed us more stuff. For the Guardians of the Galaxy wave, we got Darkhawk, which was a big want for a lot of people, and Vance Astro, which kind of goes back to that classic Guardians vibe that everybody's been wanting. I really want more figures from that era. There's also more figures for the Guardians wave that weren't ready or weren't ready to be shown, so there's that. Now, they did announce the Build-A-Figure for the wave to kind of a mediocre response from the audience, and it was Titus. Again, he comes from the Sam Alexander Nova comic book. He's visually interesting, and I kind of remember him from the comic, but again, maybe hoping for something more, but at the same time, we are getting a lot of stuff. So sneaking in characters like this isn't a huge deal. It kind of works out because we have plenty of time for bigger characters that will fit in any wave, really. And then they started with the X-Men wave. If you watch my X-Men Legends review, you know I'm super excited about X-Men figures again. It got me just pumped up for Legends overall. And then showing more, fantastic, I love it. They're finally giving us Polaris. Yes, it's more modern, but we just got a Havoc that was modern too, so they kind of fit together if needed, but it's Polaris, she's green. I think it can be fudged into a classic display. Cyclops Gimli, if you listen to the podcast, we've talked about this. I am not a biggest fan of the Gimli era, but you give me good figures of X-Men from any era, and I'm going to buy them. I'm looking forward to this Cyclops. I kind of feel like he should be on a taller body, not so much thicker, but a little bit taller, but I think they're keeping Cyclops on the Bucky Cat body for consistency. Colossus. Poor Colossus. I so wanted an updated version of either Astonishing or his classic costume. It's there. Personally, I don't care for this costume. It's just kind of ugly, but it's Colossus. That's all I can say. It's Colossus. I guess I'll buy it. As much as I love Polaris and Disco Dazzler, Sunfire was the biggie. A classic costume. He's from that giant size X-Men. It looks good. I believe this is on one of the newer bodies, maybe the 2099 body, kind of more narrow than Bucky. He has butterfly shoulders, so you can get that forward arm movement for flame blast and cool stuff like that. I'm super psyched for this figure. But at the same time, it makes me want a new Banshee, a Thunderbird, a Nightcrawler. Man, we need a new Nightcrawler. And then, of course, a Cockrum Cyclops. But the Build-A-Figure for the wave is Warlock. I like this, but again, it makes me want more. I want some new mutants. I want Cypher. I want Danny. I want a younger version of Magic. They give us a new figure. It's awesome, but it's just pushing that first domino, and there's a whole wish list after that. And that brought around teases. They showed a 6-inch Mary Jane. This is cool. It looks like she kind of has a modern slant to her. She doesn't have those bangs and the eyes of the classic look. Hopefully there'll be an alternate head, but getting Mary Jane in any form is cool. I'm down for a Mary Jane. They showed off Monica Rambeau, Photon, Spectrum, Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call her. And again, it's kind of a next wave modern look to her, and I'm good with that. Yes, I would like the old big afro look, but getting her is a win. Dark Phoenix, they said that this will be kind of a translucent hair thing, maybe powered up, kind of look like it's fire. I'm hoping she comes out good because I want a Dark Phoenix floating over my display, just looking down, looking all badass, I'm down for a Dark Phoenix, which we kind of guessed that she was coming after we got the Green Phoenix in the X-Men wave. And then I may be wrong, but it was hinted that this tombstone that they showed with the 3 3/4 slot is 6-inch. I don't have anything to back that up with. Looking at it, and then kind of hearing, people talk about it, I do believe that's 6-inch. I may be wrong. And then finally the biggie. We didn't think we would be getting any kind of Fantastic Four merchandise for a long time. And then at the end of the panel, Herbie popped up and people kind of lost their minds. We're ready. It's time to strike on Fantastic Four. And showing a good Sue Storm right off the bat gives me a lot of confidence. Yes, Thing is another one that we've been bouncing around on. We've never gotten that perfect Thing figure, but I also feel that way with Invisible Woman. So this is a good start. And as you can see in the picture, her arm kind of goes translucent on the way down to her right hand. I understand that this is a prototype. I don't know how that'll work on the final figure, if it'll be all clear or if there will be some overspray at the top. We'll just have to see. Interchangeable parts maybe? Now I'm excited for those too. Like I was talking about Warlock, like I was talking about Sunfire. Damn you, Hasbro, for making me want more figures than what we saw here. And the bad thing about this, except for the Doctor Strange wave, these are all scheduled for next year. So seeing stuff this early kind of bums me out because we won't see this stuff for at least 6 months. And that's a long time to wait. So I ran long on this. Probably a little bit longer than most of my reviews, but I really wanted to talk about the Marvel Legends while they were fresh on my mind. So if there's any questions you can think of, I can try to answer them in the comments below. So if you like the rundown, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the Fwoosh.